chili, green chili, pineapples, but to name a few, we have 28 products that is required outside. But out of that, 50% are spices. The spices take the biggest place because Uganda grows the best spice, hot pepper, green chili. They are the best. We can export thousands of tons of okra, but we do not have any cold chain to support it. So those are the few factors you can find with me. But for me, I am only lamenting. I can say the good things that the government has put in place that is working, good atmosphere, no one knows what you do, but also I think that is not right because the government should know what people do.
There has to be a bit of
There have to be, yes, supervision. It's another problem that we have. But for me, by large, I can tell you, if we had the money, if we had the capital, and my dream is to leave this country with horticulture employing more than 5 million people. In the next 5-10 years, it's my dream. Because I will cry to everybody, they will bring money. Because money is a factor that is like salt. If you have your bananas and you have cooked, you have no salt, they will never taste. Money is a factor in everything we do.
You need the fuel to drive you through.
Yes.
That is money.
Yes.
So KK Fresh Produce works as an agent, or you have those particular farmers in those various districts you've talked about?
No, you see, we have farmer groups in all districts I've talked about. For example, we work with Swiss Contact, is an international company. We work with Plan International Uganda in Eastern Uganda. Now we are trying to work with Equity Bank in Toro region so that they can support our farmers in Toro, so that we have what we need. We have built now a cold chain. We have 5 cold rooms that will be we can use it to have 500 tons of. We are trying ourselves to pull ourselves up, but we are putting ourselves in a debt where I don't know why, because it's a half of, is it a half of the country, is it a half of money, is it a half of why we are putting ourselves in debts to develop something that should be developed by other players like government. So that's why we are always cautious about what we talk. But at the end of the day, every part of Uganda we are there because we have a demand that we must supply. Somehow we manage. But if you ask me how do you manage, we try to do like any other person does. And somehow we are managing, but we are managing in losses. And but yes, our produce are quite fragile but expensive products. Internationally, yes, they are expensive, and we need to make that become better because there is a lot of cost that involves, and also these people pay the price, but we don't give them the correct product, but they can pay the price we ask. We have not asked the price and they don't want to pay it, but we always send them wrong product, and it's not our making. We send a product not knowing that it has already been heated, because you see, food is supposed to be should be fresh, and to be fresh it must be kept at acceptable temperature from the field to the market.
How have you been supportive, or what services have you offered to the farmers out there as KK Fresh Produce? How have you supported the farmers?
We train farmers on how to produce. We make sure they have seeds. We make sure when they are many as a group we collect the produce from there. And we keep on giving them trainings and make sure they have the correct chemicals at the moment. Agriculture will employ many Ugandans that this country cannot employ. But keeping it as a commercial bank, it will not support any farmer, because what is required from them is much more than a peasant can afford. There is no way we are going to turn commercial farming in Uganda, to turn the peasant farmer into a commercial farm in Uganda if we don't support them. And supporting them means that the country has to stand in for them. Meaning the government has to decide that I am turning this country into a commercial farming country, and they will have to support them directly. Rather than, because the farmer do not have a balance sheet, they don't have buildings, neither do they have land to sell or put in the banks. I appeal to the people in charge to support those who have shown the willingness to work, so that our Ugandans can get employment. Because if you look at what is not tapped, for example, this company, we had reached at 2 million kilos a year. But all those is history. Because climate change came, everything went down, production went down. We are now back to 1.5 or 1.2 million kilos a year. We are required to ship 9 million a year. Why can't we be supported? Why can't we be, why do you, I think, I will end by saying, there was, I will have two endings, proverbs. There were a businessman who wanted to go on trip, and he had his money. He had 5, 10, and 1. He distributed to his people. The one of 1 kept it because he thought the owner will come and shout. The one of 5 multiplied it to 10. The one of 20 multiplied it to the one of 5 to 10, and the one of 10 to 20. We have shown that we have multiplied this to 20. Why can't we be supported? Take the other one from that one and give it to us. Let us be supported and support the country. Lastly, at one time, this world was not governed, and I want to put it in the context of Uganda. People in the world invited God, and God gave them, you will come. God told them, I am coming tomorrow. And they waited for God. When they went, they sat down, and they were there. The Indian was chewing his mirror, and the English was smoking his tobacco, and the black man had nothing, but he was there. They reached at 3, and they were hungry. They put a plan of cooking food, and they cooked food. At time reached, and the Englishman said, the man is about to come, I will not eat. The Indian the same, because they had what they were chewing. Because the black man did not have knowledge in him, he took that food and ate. And ate too much. And he was so satisfied that he could not even think anymore. Of course, God delayed because he has a lot of things to do. God came late. So when God came, he came at 3 a.m. in the morning. When he reached, he found a white man and a black man. A white man and the Indian there chewing and the other smoking. The black man was sleeping, snoring in a deep sleep. He asked the Englishman, what can I give you? The Englishman said, I need knowledge. He said, is that what you want? He said, yes, I've given it to you. He said, you have it. The white man ran away. He did not even look back. He went. Then the Indian man was called Patel. He asked Patel, what can I do for you? Patel said, I need to be a businessman to trade so that everything should be under my arm trade. God asked, is that what you want? He said, yes. He said, you have it. The Indian did not even look back. He ran away. Speed. The other black man was sleeping and snoring. When he was snoring, God looked at him and he touched this black man. He said, you. The black man jumped up. When he jumped up, he looked left, right, and in front he could not see the people he had. He said, I was having people, I was escorting these ones. God said, what do you want? Man said, nothing. I was escorting the people who were here. Now God looked at this man because he had no time. He looked at him, the man who cannot manage himself. The God said, okay, I've gone. The God took he disappeared. But as he was going to heaven, this is what is important to Uganda. As he was going to heaven, he said, this black man who cannot govern himself, who cannot feed himself, I must place him in Uganda. He threw him into Uganda. He gave him the best soil, the best weather. He gave him all the water he needed, that he can always have 2 seasons in a year. And he looked at him and said he cannot govern himself. He said, what can I do? He said, okay, but let him have food so that he can sell to the person whom he has given knowledge. Because with knowledge you get money. But my problem, as I end, is that even what God gave us for free, we have failed to manage. Instead, we are stealing everything that is in coffin in Uganda for our own benefit. Because we do not have knowledge to understand, we have failed everything. That even when we know that agriculture, farming as God gave it to us, should be where we invest more, we invest in a different place. I call upon the government to think about this. Look at agriculture as the only way. For me, I am preaching a gospel according to KK and according to God's judgment. Judged us that way, and we should move that way. I call upon all of Ugandans to come behind us and fight for a cause, produce more for export, because the market is open. But at the end of the day, it's up to us and the government to decide where we need this country to go.
I believe each and every single person who has been watching at least has tapped or picked at least one or two things.
But I believe that development money will never reach to a farmer. That one, keep in your mind.
We need to have the faith.
It will never. Because if it remains the way it is.
If you are talking about the God of Abraham, Isaac and Jacob, you need to have the faith.
I believe in the God of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, David and Solomon. So that's the God I believe in.
So you need to have the faith as well.
The faith I have had it for the last 20 years. But you see, President Museveni said, why do God not call Chinese? Why does he call Africans or Ugandans? When you die young, that God has called this one. Why? It's you know why Chinese and the Japanese
could be a miracle at the end of the day.
No, it's not a miracle. You know why they don't die? Because they take care of themselves. They have knowledge. For us, we don't. Anything we meet, we eat. For example, you have eaten the fruit. Do you know what chemicals are there? But there is no food can go on the market in those countries.
We're just feeding at the end of the day.
We're just feeding chemicals.
Well, we don't want to close on a sad note. We wouldn't want to close on a sad note.
Ugandans,
but at least let it be a wake-up call.
The moment you don't sit together and talk about yourselves, you need to have what we call a national dialogue as us as the farmers, as you, the media. You see, for me, I've been looking for the media whom we can work together to really President to understand that his people are getting poorer because of his people. His people, I mean who? The people in authority. They do not care about whatever you do.
But they're the ones who sit in the workshops and they discuss.
But they are already taken their cut. The workshops is nothing. The workshops is created for someone to earn.
They should have the workshops in those particular villages.
They should have workshops in the farm.
Where you talked about.
That's where we go, and that's where we have workshops. You ask him, we always go outside in the farm, we discuss on the farm, we tell them, look here, this is wrong, this is right, this is wrong. But you sit in Sheraton, you spend 10 million, 20 million, 50 million, you are talking about a pest, when a pest is in the field.
Instead of sitting and enjoying the coffee behind.
What is this office? This office is, we have made our name because we reach to the people, and even outside we reach, we visit them.
We need to find ways of moving forward.
Yes.
Yes.
We need to leave that hole. We need to leave it.
And forget about the hobby.
And move out.
The hobby of eating.
When these younger lion, when these mukorwa, I don't know how they call them, these small, when they move out of the anthill,
yes,
they know they are either going to die or to live. So for me as KK, we have said to go. Either we fall
in unity, as long as there's unity and looking out for development.
Even if we meet a hill, we'll hit it. If it does not kill us, whatever does not kill us make us stronger. For us,
move forward.
We are outside to make this in. How can Kenya export 1,000 tons in a single day and Uganda exports nothing? Is that really? We should even be. This generation should die. Another generation should come. Because it is a sin what is happening in Uganda. Why should we have other countries across the Rwanda where I have gone there recently? I've taken it. Now they took my notes, what I was doing. They have turned one into agriculture. Now you go to the airport and see how they are arriving with the cargo plane in London, in Germany. You reach there. You go to now Omutara. You see how they have put pivot irrigation, the one from America, the big one. They are doing a lot of those because they have learned from James. I'm the one who took their chili, who took their hot pepper. They are now doing wonders. I took their French beans. You go there and ask them, how did you get this? It's KK James. I went there because I wanted to produce there. I knew in Uganda we are not having enough. But the condition there want people for that country. I had to leave. I came back here. But I was also still here. I was doing there and here. We would bring goods from Kigali, we export out of Entebbe. Even Ugandan officials, they had to stop my truck from bring goods from Rwanda, from our farm in Rwanda. These are anti-Uganda. They would good would reach Katuna. They would say, "Why are you bringing papers from Kigali?" No. They would refuse. I had to leave. Those are Ugandans that we have, and we say there is a big problem until we know it as a whole of us sit together. That's why I've been saying, if I got, I have two people. I'm looking for a media to raise with us, so we work together to see how even the president to get involved. I am looking for a bank who will not look at the balance sheet to support these exports, make sure every infrastructure is there. There is no way they lose the money. They will actually rough going to the bank to sign off the check. But because they keep you in there, you keep on losing. You don't get money enough to invest. They think if they give like $10 million or $20 million, you are going to waste it. No! Some of us, I have lived more than half I should be living on this world. Why should I be now? I'm thinking of developing Uganda.
You have better plans.
But this is Uganda. We have a big problem. People in the authority are looking on the next check. For them, not for you, not for the farmer. And that's a problem. That's why this generation should die. Another generation comes. Because they are all thieves. Instead of supporting the farmer in somewhere to grow and support his child to go to school, they say, how many houses should I build? How my children should go to study in America. They don't think about you or me or anybody. That's where the problem is. At one time, if there was a verse in the Bible said that the generation should die, another one comes. Maybe this is the time of Sodom and Gomorrah. Why are people doing this?
But the good thing, we have a forgiving God.
He's forgiving God, but he is also sometimes...
God of grace.
But even you have to beat your chest and say, what I'm doing is wrong.
So we need to pray that the Holy Spirit convicts them.
But you see, that's wrong for us thinking because God forgives, we keep on stealing everything. We keep on not doing the right thing because God will forgive me. That God should even, God of Abraham, the one I pray to, I will ask him also one time, the thieves who are not even looking, giving us the vision of Uganda, he should take them.
The right vision. The
right vision so that our people can, because you see, my person in the village would be able to get money from this company KK if he's supported. If KK has means to support them, they will give us what we need. Our mothers can give us, but to me may concern you. James says, how much you need? Tell me. But how many? What property do you have? Why should you ask me a property? The property is not what's going to sell the chili. The chili is a business.
That is your line of prayer, and is a God who speaks. I'm sure He'll speak to Dr. James.
To me,
yes,
because I have kept me all of this wrong, and I believe and I pray every day that He will take me to the promised land when all the farmers are happy, enjoying and support. When this company is exporting 9 million kilos into European Union, even if God said come and rest, I will go.
Glory.
I will be very happy.
Glory to God.
Yes, thanks.
A great time we've had for this particular episode. Let's keep the honesty and the passion, just like the CEO of KK Fresh Produce has for this nation, Uganda, not only for his company, but for the farmers and the entire nation at large. We had a great time. Thank you so much, Dr. James Mwijute.
Thank you.
My name is Sandra Kahunde from the entire team. We wish you all the best. Keep watching. UBC has been inspired, has been the Entrepreneur's Hub in growing your business.